Hello and welcome to Outlandish, the podcast that boldly explores the wild world of sex and relationships. I'm Lisa Nash.
And I'm Melanie Cameron. We'll be taking a fresh look into the fun highs and sometimes murky lows of modern love, fearlessly tackling some pretty outlandish topics with no holds barred chats, leaving no stone unturned.
And each episode will bring you the raw and relatable life stories. We'll take a look at the hot topics everybody's talking about in the media relating to infidelity, sex and relationships. And we'll have some fun chats with some very special guests that might even make you see things in a whole new light.
Now, it's the perfect moment to grab that bottle of wine, pour a glass, relax and indulge in your weekly guilty pleasure.
And today, we've got a very special guest called Greg, also known as Bock. And we're going to be talking to him about, shall we say, interesting past love life. Interesting. He'll be telling us all about the life in open relationships and swinging and what it was like for him and what made him stop.
So don't forget, guys, if you are enjoying this podcast, then please give us a follow, like, subscribe, share. And, you know...
do all of that.
Yeah. And if you're loving it, feel free to give us a rating.
5 stars, preferably.
5 stars, we owe you a drink.
Yeah, she does.
Excellent. So let's kick off. Lisa, how are you feeling? Because Happy New Year to you, first and foremost.
Thank you very much. How am I feeling? Well, last week...
You had COVID.
Yeah, I wasn't very well. The dreaded big C.
The vid.
But, yeah. But I'm feeling... It's a really weird feeling because I've done this dry Jan... so far.
Yeah, I'd just like to say for the record.
Look, I'm on the water, I might add.
I'm not doing dry Jan.
Well, I didn't do it at the beginning, but I started about a week ago. Obviously, once I got COVID, I want some. But I've decided to do a 21 kind of day reset. So that involves like no drinking and just eating well. I think we all indulge and the belly gets bigger, especially at a certain age. Yeah. You just bloat. So I'm doing no sugar and I've managed to do it now for I'm on day 7 and I've got this kind of lingering headache, so it's kind of a detox. So it's a really weird feeling, obviously not being well, of like feeling kind of energized because you're sleeping loads, eating really well, but you're still kind of like, I won't bore all the listeners.
I want my friend back.
Yes. Where's she gone? Don't worry guys, I will be back.
No, I mean...
So there'll be no slurring words today. That's a good thing.
No, you are right. And especially if like loads of people hit it hard over the Christmas period, there's, you know, lots of partying and all that sort of stuff. So it is a good reset. You
were relatively quiet this New Year and Christmas.
I was, which is,
where's my friend gone?
I know. I know, that's true.
Yeah.
So it was very tame. Yeah. So that's why I feel like I'm not doing dry Jan. I pretty much had a tame December.
But we've both kind of been discussing that we want to, you know, for 2024, get in shape, feel a bit better. And I think also we have mentioned before, you know, we get to a certain age, menopausal, you just want to look after yourself more. So
we talked about this the other day. It's like, you know, Mother Nature, and lots of us ladies will be able to relate to this. Mother Nature, as you're coming to the end of that cycle of your life, it's like she goes, but before you go,
I have one more thing for you.
One last hurrah, and it's called the menopause. Oh, and it's a doozy.
But we could talk for ages about menopause, but we're not going to.
No, we won't.
We might do a particular episode,
yeah,
maybe.
I think
we'll speak to the producer, Simon.
Maybe we'll talk
sometime.
about sex and menopause, because that's a bit of a...
Losing your libido.
We want to get Sunita on for that, so I'm going to leave that to you.
We spoke about that, I think, on our last episode, didn't we?
But yeah,
New Year's resolutions then. What are yours?
Resolutions. So,
do you believe in them?
Well, I think... Look, I don't think you need the new year to make a resolution, to make a change, but I do think it's a really good place to start and reset, like you've said. I think health is definitely a bit of a focus for both of us this year. And that's just because...
It's just the longevity of it, because people do go to the gym and it lasts for a month, doesn't it? So it's about kind of instilling it maybe a little bit before the new year, do you think?
I think for me, I have been continuing to live my life like I'm still in my 20s for a really long time. And whilst up here, very much still in that mindset, my body keeps reminding me, Mel, you are not. So,
but I think it's a balance of both, isn't it? You don't want to kind of like hang up the dancing shoes just yet.
Oh, definitely not.
I don't think they're ever getting hung up.
No.
There's a bit of a kind of running joke with my sister and her fiance. I've got these white boots, and they always knew when I was wearing the white boots I was out. So they're like, and I bought a new pair actually in the sale. They was like, "What? You're not ready to hang them up yet?"
No,
hell no.
I'm getting new ones.
Yeah.
No, and the other thing that I was going to, my other resolution for this year is I am a recovering people pleaser. Yeah. And
you got to think more about what.
I'm not doing it anymore, Lise.
Yeah.
I am not doing it. I think I have spent so much of my life trying not to offend people, upset people. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm
always be polite, but it's more about
I'm a very strong person, but I don't think being a people pleaser and being a strong person are mutually exclusive. And I think because I just like to make people happy, a lot of the time that comes...
But that's a good trait and that's a good quality. I'm the same.
But I think sometimes it comes at a cost to yourself. Yeah. And I'm not doing that anymore. Like, my time is precious and I want to spend it with people that I love and things that I want to do.
That's a very good point. It's kind of being in company and wasting your evening with people that aren't kind of, I suppose,
aligned
you up,
with
aligned
you.
That's perfect.
And also, not everyone's going to show up for you. So I think as you get a bit older, your circle.
That's the thing. You turn up for other people, and then like when it comes down to you doing something, does everyone show up for you?
Exactly.
And then you have to kind of like look around. And
your circle, my mum used to say...
circle gets smaller.
Circle gets smaller. She was right. And it does. Your circle does get smaller. So just be grateful you're still in it.
It's only the two of us.
I mean, this is my circle. I joke all my other friends. You're all in the circle.
So one of my other New Year's resolutions is I'm rubbish on social media. And I think that's definitely an age thing, right?
Is that why you call me the technical one?
I always call her the technical one. But we're actually going to be interviewing a tech entrepreneur in a little while. So I'm going to ask him about this. But basically what I want to do is
learn how to use Instagram.
Yeah, learn how to turn my phone on, answer calls. No, basically I want to learn how to kind of promote myself a bit more. And do you know what? I go away. I've just been, last year I went to Uganda. I did this whole amazing tribe experience and I haven't posted one picture. So what I'm saying...
That life-changing experience.
Yeah. So just to organise and be a bit more savvy. But I'm one of those people that it's like people go, oh, go on YouTube, learn. No, I need to go on a course and they have to actually like literally show me what to do.
I just need to take this back because before we started this podcast, I'd posted a picture on social media yesterday and Lisa was like, oh, how did you do your eyeliner? It looked really nice. And I was like, oh, I did this and I did that. And I also went through loads of filters. I'm not even going to lie. And then I said to her, wait a minute, aren't you a qualified makeup artist? Didn't you do a whole course? And
well, the story is with that, I used to present at London Fashion Week and the Global Fashion Awards and stuff in New York. But I used to work with a company called AOFM, which is Academy of Freelance Makeup. So they actually put me on this course, which is about 10 grand for free, so I could learn how to apply makeup, but more importantly, to interview the makeup artists for the big fashion shows and stuff. And still can't do eyeliner. I was going to
say, how did that work out for you?
Do you know what? I actually went and did makeup for quite a lot of people. I'd actually quite like to look back at those pictures.
The best thing was, it was Lisa saying to me, yes, my problem is like, I can't see without my glasses on.
Well, this is the other thing. Back then, I could actually
do my eyeliner.
Do a little bit and then put the glasses on. Right, enough about my bad makeup skills.
It's so funny. Right, so this week I've been having a little look, and I'm sure as have you, Lisa, of what's going on in the world around sex and relationships and all that sort of stuff. And there is a new dating trend that I keep seeing a lot about.
Avalanching.
Avalanching. That sounded really Essexy. I've been avalanching.
Yeah.
And it's basically, in the run-up to Valentine's Day, is people
are worried.
Swiping right a lot more.
Yeah. Well, they're worried, I think, especially coming out of Christmas and New Year, if they spend it on their own. It could be a lonely time for a lot of people, as we know.
Yeah.
And then going into the most romantic day of the year, Valentine's. I mean, it was created, obviously, for the hype. And it is lovely for people to celebrate their love and all the rest of it. But going back to the dating apps, it's kind of... it could be counterproductive because they're kind of looking for that date.
Anyone.
And then for Valentine's night, and then maybe if you kind of get stuck into that, do you get stuck into a relationship? Do you settle? Or, are people really looking for what they want long term. And reading about the articles, it's like from all the experts, so to speak, they talk about being honest and like the things that you really like doing, not kind of like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, which I think there's a lot of catfishing out there, people putting up on their profiles that they're, they look slightly different. I mean, there's been some horror stories, hasn't there? Like when people turn up, they're like, oh my God.
Do you know, I was going to say that
they even turn up at the table.
When I was single, I remember, you weren't there for this, but I don't know why. You must have been in a relationship or out of the country or something. Anyway, there were loads of us that were all single at the same time. So we did a singles Valentine's night. And there was a group, I'm not going to mention any names because there were a couple of quite well-known ones in there. And we all went about...
I remember this. I was out the country, yeah.
It was about 12 of us and we went to the Groucho and we all got very drunk and had an absolutely brilliant time. So I think...
Well, that's the thing. You do get also on Valentine's night that you get the singles...
Do a singles night.
Go out.
I would say don't try and rush yourself for a date just for the sake of a date.
Definitely
get
not.
a group
You
together.
get kind of, I think, if you do end up being in a relationship just because of...
Sorry, it was a fly. Just
just because of Valentine's night, then it could actually... the whole day. It could
see where your Valentine's went.
Straight into the night. No. But yeah, I think also... I think it's known that January is one of the most popular months for people swiping right.
Yeah.
And it's got to be down to Valentine's.
I've got to be honest. I mean, I'm 9 years into my relationship. I'm quite happy to spend a Valentine's alone.
Do you know what?
As would he be?
I think if I was single, I'd be quite happy just to... I mean, do you know what? Valentine's has never really been...
No.
I've never really thought, oh my God, I'm lonely. When I have been single, I think it's just another day of the year.
Do you know?
I think it applies more to the youngsters.
It does.
Yeah.
Do you know how old that makes us sound?
Yeah.
The youngsters.
I know.
But my mum used to send me a Valentine's card every year.
Yeah.
So when I was at school, but she used to write really cheesy, corny stuff in it that no
those little
14-year-old would ever write. Like, you were made for me. And I was like, Mum, it's clearly you. I didn't send it. I don't know. No, someone must have posted that.
Did you used to have the post box?
14-year-old puts you were made for me.
Do you remember you used to have that post box at school? Did everyone have a post box that you could actually...
They don't do that anymore.
No, they don't do that anymore. But they used to have it in my class. Again, we're showing our age. But yeah, you used to be able to post a Valentine's card. But the thing is, it was bad because there was always some people that never got them. And then some got loads. So I can understand why they don't do that anymore.
But big shout out to...
Clearly, I got loads.
Obviously.
Could get out the front door. No, I'm not sure that I actually did get it.
No one needs to know. You threw yourself under the bus there.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's move on because there's been quite a few, actually, stories in the media. This one, the paper's picked up really quickly. And this, I do like this. We had a little chat about this before.
Yeah.
But the 5-minute coffee hack to save a relationship. Now...
Explain what it is.
So basically, the 5-minute coffee hack is if there's trouble within the relationship, it means you're sitting down, obviously a coffee gives you a little perk up. It can also be used for a moment of... just to sit down, talk to each other, whether it's in the morning before you go to work. And there's a thing that they call the SEAL. So it's kind of like S symbolises strategize. So what do you want? How are you feeling? And then the E's for explain how you're feeling at that precise moment. Are you feeling okay in yourself? How are you feeling about, your work and all that stuff, where sometimes gets lost in relationships. And then A for affirm what action needs to be taken, whether you say to your partner, you need to listen to me more. You need to, sit down and take more responsibility for certain things. And then L is lock in or lock out, meaning like, see you later, or kind of, is this going to work? We have to work on it. So those kind of things, it takes 5 minutes. And this article was about this couple that basically they say that it saved their relationship. And even they went on holiday for 3 weeks and they still did the 5-minute kind of in the morning. Right. So I think it's giving some kind of hope to relationships that, that
it just feels
5 minutes. Can that save a relationship?
I don't know. I mean, I get the idea of it. I just think it feels a bit business-like. So that like you use that in business. There's a STAR technique, which is I think situation, task, action, and resolution, and it feels a little bit like that. Is kind of the. But some people need
for a relationship. See, the thing is, some people I think need structure in their relationship, and they don't know how to communicate. True. And the thing is, it is about communication, isn't it? And if you can sit down and actually hear what someone has to say, and also for someone to feel like they've been heard. I'm just
trying to think of like applying that to my own relationship, and if I sat down and had that conversation,
but the thing is, obviously, you don't have a problem communicating or talking. Some people do; they hold everything in. So I mean,
I have a problem listening. That might be the issue.
But listen, the advice is probably put the kettle on and sit down and have a chat. Why not? Give it a try.
You're right. I think you're right. It is about communication, but it just depends on the person, and sometimes. You can use that, but just not in such a structured way. You can, sometimes you can manipulate and slip it in a different way without people realising that you've. So
you mean like don't actually set a time and go right? You've got 1 minute. Go.
Yeah. How are you feeling? How are you showing up to this 5 minutes?
So well, listen, it's just food for thought for people, I suppose. Just to try and
let us know if that's worked for you. If you've tried it, just let us know. Now,
or do you go over the same thing? That's the thing. I think people can go over the same thing constantly.
Me and Ash are still having arguments, the same arguments 9 years later. Like, well, I remember that time. Really? We still go.
Well, I think we need a relationship expert on that. Yes. Reoccurring issues and how to get over them.
How do you get past those?
Yeah, I think they're the hardest, aren't they?
Someone throw me a frickin' bone. This one, I feel like, was set up for me and you. Cougars dating toy boys have better relationships.
Yeah. Well, apparently cougars have much... it's more fun.
And they have better relationships. Now, on our
why
notes,
do you think that is? Go on, what's your note saying?
Say what our note says. Have you ever dated anyone younger than you? Might be something to chat about. Might be fun. And we were like, have we actually ever dated anyone our own age or above?
We're young at heart, though, I think. That's why.
Yes, that's it. So Ashley's 7 years younger than me.
Yeah. My partner's 4.
I'm sure you said 5 before we started.
No, it's 4. Yeah.
Look at you trying to knock the years down to make yourself.
Listen, I think whatever suits someone. I think, it's what you're attracted to.
Yes.
Does it come with an age? I don't know. But the whole article is very much about women coming to a certain age, like 45, and then if they're single, prefer to go or attracted and have better sex with a younger man.
Is it kind of a little bit about how men and women age differently?
Could be
that.
And
I do think there is something about maybe a woman getting into her mid-40s, 50s where she might have brought up a family, it might be her time, she might... her confidence has grown. She's comfortable with who she is, and I think there's a lot to do with that, Mel. To be honest, because I think she doesn't want to be around grumpy people, and she wants to just someone young with a bit of fire and electricity.
And also, like you said, I think if you've been a mum at home with the kids, and like in your kind of your comfies, constantly bringing up the kids, wiping their bottoms and all the rest of it. It's sometimes you want to feel like a woman, feel appreciated, and. I suppose there's never a real answer to it. I suppose whatever suits that person.
In the words of Aaliyah, age ain't nothing but a number. Going down ain't nothing. It's a number.
It is a number.
I just think you like who you like, and that's whether it's...
That's the thing, whatever you're attracted
to.
Male,
female, gay, straight, bi, non-binary, young, old, whatever floats your boat. And I don't think it's anybody else's business. Do you.
Do you. Final word. Right, so shall we bring our guest on?
I think we should. Yes. Is it that time?
Yeah, it's that time.
Okay, guys, so we have a very special guest this week. His name is Bock. Welcome, Bock.
Welcome.
Hello. Thank you very much.
So, great to have you.
I'm going to give a little bit of a rundown about your life. Feel free to jump in if we've got it wrong. So,
will do.
You're a tech entrepreneur, and you've had quite the interesting life. Until recently, you were a swinger, a frequenter of sex parties. You were in an open relationship, and you had a hot...
Oh, he just went like that, which means that he might still be, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, see, I didn't pick that up.
I'm picking up on the body language, baby, see?
See, that's why we need both of us.
Yeah.
You had a harem which consisted of anything up to around 7 women?
Yeah, for a little while.
And now you're
How,
married.
how did you even
Yeah.
cope? I'm sorry, with 7 women, but again, we'll come to that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll wait. But it was very easy. Everything was very separate.
Okay. And now you're married.
Yep.
So I guess first and foremost, is that part of your life over with now, or
No. We still hit the parties. Both enjoy them. She used to go before I even knew her. And so similar friends from like different circles. Figured out after we'd been together for quite a while that we've known some of the same people for ages and ages, and it was actually very, very odd that we didn't bump into each other earlier.
That was a question that I was thinking when you were saying that. Like, obviously, being a swinger and now you're married, was your wife previously a swinger, which you just clarified?
So, the only place that I'll care, we've always been open, swinging, and everyone has different definitions for all these terms. They
So
all mean
what
something.
is your definition of an open relationship and a
Versus
swinging?
a swing.
versus
So
swinging.
swinging usually in my mind means the couple goes out together and they find another couple and
Yeah.
then they
Yeah.
just switch like that. So me and Carla don't do that too much just because we like different people and like different things.
Right, okay.
And then just the open bit, it's we've just had since we got together, we were dating while we were each dating many other people when this all started. Kind of cute story to the big C. COVID hit. We were seeing a lot of each other and we're like, oh, and like this is back when it was all like really scary. Like you're not going to see anyone
End
for
of the
months.
world.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, do you want to move in? And
So do you think if COVID hadn't happened, do you think you might not have got married?
I think that's a bit of a too far. I mean, I think we were spending more and more time together. I think it dumped gasoline on a fire.
Yeah.
But-
But
pushed
then
towards
it
it.
was we moved into a tiny 1-bedroom apartment at the beginning of COVID. You weren't allowed to go anywhere. And then
we
after
were
a year
back
of that,
then-
we didn't kill each other. So it's like, well, obviously we should get married.
Well, back then we were all really like playing to the COVID rules and
Oh, yeah.
being in a 1-bedroom flat. I mean, I remember
With no green space.
Yeah,
No.
not being able to go outside.
I remember at one point, and I had a 2-bedroom house that me and Ashley were literally self-isolating from each other within the same house.
Yeah.
So being in a 1-bedroom flat, that's quite the test, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was we actually had a blast because it's like all of a sudden you couldn't go into work.
Yeah.
We both like a bit of a drink. And so
Amen.
Had a great time.
yeah. Yeah, I remember we laid in a month's worth of booze in the first week and it was gone slightly before the end of the first week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm a big fan of your work, Bock. Well done. Congratulations to you both.
So I suppose the next kind of question is, do you ever get jealous of each other? Because like you say that you don't do the swingings, you don't go to the same kind of couples. So do you do it separately? And do you get jealous of each other?
So the jealousy, I think sometimes a little bit, yes. Generally not. And back to that 5-minute coffee kind of thing. The biggest thing is very, very clear, very, very open comms.
Yeah.
Right. So just talk
the
about it all the
5-minute
time.
thing does work. The coffee break.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
We spend a lot more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then just the biggest thing about that though is very, very, very clear ground rules.
Yeah.
So
I think you'd have to.
you're allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. And one thing that I actually got from a different friend back in Detroit ages ago was your partner always has 100% veto power over anyone, and they do not have to explain why.
Right.
Like
That makes sense.
So, I'm gonna okay with her, and like just nope. And you're not allowed to ask why.
Don't
you
question
just have
it.
to
Just
fucking
know. You're
not
drop it and
comfortable
walk
with it, yeah.
away. And
Do you mind me
down the
asking,
road.
actually?
I was going to say
What-
the same thing, what the ground rules are.
Yeah. Well, what are you allowed and what you're not allowed to do?
I
You can't
see, I
see
do
it.
So it's interesting because it's a bit different for each of us. I want to know, but I want no details. Like, hey, let me know what's going on. But that's it. Go have fun. Great.
Yep.
Does she have a curfew?
No, not if she tells me.
Where she is,
The rule for both though is you have to say before. Like, there's
Yeah.
no like, oh, doing? By the
I
way?
got drunk and I just I woke up here. Yeah.
That shit don't. That shit don't fly.
Yeah, that don't fly.
That's fair enough.
And then there's generally oh yeah, go have fun, but nothing. Nothing datey.
Yeah.
You can go sleep with them. No trips to the museum the next day.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No, doing that nice breakfast and going for a walk in the morning.
No brunch, no walks.
No catching the feelings, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the biggest one. Now, that kind of works and it kind of doesn't, because you do see people, like, the scene isn't, like, infinite, ginormous, and you end up finding the people you like, and you end up seeing them at, multiple of the parties. Like,
sorry,
different.
fly.
The same one that was after you.
The same one that was on your hair. Oops.
See, multiple partners this fly, multiple partners.
Do you go back to the same partner? Have you been back to the same? I say partner. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Or date.
Interesting enough. So back during the harem days, which is what like other
Yeah,
people.
I want to get to that. I want to know all about that.
So how it worked was I was living in between Detroit and London, and so couldn't have anything super serious long term in either place because I was 3 months on one side of the ocean, 3 months on the other, 2 months back, 5 months over, and it was really just scattered. But then I had a couple open relationship enthusiast friends back in Detroit side, and so I was dating a few of them here and there, and it just kind of also things just fell into place.
When you've had how you've just explained, like you've gone back to previous people that you've seen, how does your wife feel about that now? Because obviously you were single back then.
Yeah. Are you allowed to return?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm allowed. One of the long-standing ones actually doesn't see me anymore, but actually sees my wife.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. So are you not, because see, that would be, I think, a concern for most people is if you continue to see someone, does a different kind of relationship and a bond form?
Yeah. So one of the nice things to kind of keep out of that then is if you find other open couples.
Yeah.
And if they also have a life going on.
Yeah.
There is that back of your head level of safety of this person has a wife or a husband and a couple kids, and they just happen to, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I guess I was going to ask, is it always people that are in open relationships, or can you date someone that's not in an open relationship and that's just single and ready to mingle, as it were?
I think that would raise more bars. Like there's also that entry into
They might want more because they're single.
Yeah. They might be
going.
looking for an act like a relationship if they're not on the scene. Obviously 1,000 times easier for my partner to go have things, just guys need to put in a lot more work. And as a guy going out for a one-off fling like that, and I have a wife and we're open. Like women just
just
absolutely shoot out.
Yeah.
Unless you're kind of more in the scene, and then you end up talking to people at different events and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'd like to get to know you better. Or like, hey, what are you guys doing tomorrow? Or
Do you feel attitudes have changed as time's progressed? So are people more open? Is it less shocking than it used to be? Is it more of a more accepted way of life that we're all going, actually, monogamy just isn't for everybody, and and it's quite unnatural to lots of people?
I think the needle's moving a bit, but I think more what you find is you hit a large city center like London, no one cares.
Okay, that's interesting to know.
Very much in London, you don't find people that get judgy or nearly as much. Back in Detroit, keep everything a little quieter because it is the Midwest, it is the Bible Belt of the U.S.
Yeah,
and you'll get people.
Yeah.
But going back on, I just said that's interesting, only in the sense that that's not something I've ever been in an open relationship or done the swinging and stuff. So it's interesting to know that it's such a big
me
and
neither.
accepted.
But it doesn't shock me.
No, it doesn't shock me at all.
It wouldn't make me look at somebody any differently. I'm like, good for you.
Oh, 100%.
You're getting all the sex.
I've got lots of friends that, you know.
Congratulations on all the sex. Well done.
Do you know the other thing is, does your family, obviously your family know, but like, I suppose for people that, you know, are swingers or in an open relationship, would they tell their parents? Would they tell their friends and family? Or do you think it's like I don't want to say this, but like a little secret, a dark secret, a dirty little secret, or something like that. People might
I know
think.
I know people that go both ways. I know people that keep it like
Stum.
very much under the carpet, you know, just don't talk about it ever.
Do you think that's if they're in powerful jobs or something, they can't be seen to give that image?
I think if you had a certain career track, you might keep it like quite a bit more on the down low. I also think, you know, obviously, once again, back to the Michigan thing, my friends back there, the parties are much, you know, here in London, oh man, you have a plethora. You have Torture Garden, Verboten, and a Pinky Promise, the Fox Den, Antichrist, Pedestal. I mean, they're just imaginary.
I have to say, we have a friend, who was attending, but is a DJ and has played at one of these clubs, and he was absolutely mesmerised by what a good vibe it is in these clubs.
I suppose everyone just lets down their guard and they're just there to have fun, aren't they?
He said it's like the least judgmental place.
And probably the least pretentious.
Everybody is just drinking, having fun.
The best thing is like back when I first started going and I would like bring other people kind of into the scene, the number one thing is that girls could not believe is go to the club, strip down to whatever level of strip down you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And a club in London, no one touches you, no one even bumps up against you, no like blah, 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 blah. It's such a consent centric view in the space.
That's really quite...
It's quite appealing, isn't it?
Do you know what the thing is? You think about all these strip clubs that, you know, you get the drunk guys, they want to touch the girls. And you say that girls can walk around a club freely and that it's... I suppose when it's out there and it's your choice to be there, then...
Well, you actually, I guess you get a bit desensitised to it, right? Because he said everybody is, at the beginning of the night...
Respectful.
But everybody's all dressed nicely and as the night goes on, there are less clothes and there are more drinks being consumed. And now people are at the bar in next to nothing, ordering their drinks, having a chat. It's just what everyone's doing.
It does go down, but then there's also, you know, like I'm trying to think. I think I was past, when I came to London, I was past the age of going to clubs.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what's
the point in all of
nightclub
this?
scene of...
It's all about these days, nor do we.
I do know some of my female friends, like, talk about going out to, like, their friends who are not on the kind of kink scene, going to non-kink parties and being like, oh, it's so fucking gross. I got groped like 8 times.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, just from the kink scene, the girls are walking around in just nothing or lingerie or latex or whatever. It can easily be fixed by the club. The thing is, the community inside these places does not accept that stuff. Anybody does anything, snap for a bouncer comes, they're gone and they're banned for the club.
I've been a club host MC for years, so I used to stand and people watch from the DJ booth, and I would think, you guys are so busy filming and showing that you're having a good time, you're actually forgetting to have a good time. When we were clubbing and raving, there were no camera phones. It was you just engaged in what was going on. And I guess it's the same.
Well, I was just about to say, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to take pictures in there? No.
Absolutely no camera.
So that's
There you go.
Yeah,
They should
yeah.
ban actually filming and all of that in clubs or parties.
So
shouldn't they?
most of the parties, they either put a sticker over your camera or they bag.
Oh, really?
They actually bag your phone and make sure.
Oh wow, to that extreme.
Yeah,
Stick over the phone.
See, I think there's something in that, right?
Oh,
that we're talking about an alignment in how things used to be and how things are now
Living
in
in
sex
that
clubs.
It's definitely for people that are listening, actually, if they're event promoters and that's something to look into. Isn't it? But listen, just moving on a little bit, there was an article in the Sun newspaper, and it was talking about like the.
It was in the
trends.
Sun. It must be true.
Yeah, it's got to be true. Got to be 100%. But there's like, how do you know if someone is
Open to-
open, whether they're swingers and that, and also talking about neighbours, because there's certain things that they have in their garden, like the upside down pineapple. I mean, and flamingos. Obviously, that's kind of a giveaway, but and the pampas grass, which I actually love those.
Me too.
They're like those long kind of stalks with the beige kind of fur.
So
they
look like
gorgeous.
fluffy, feathery. So basically, this article.
I never knew that kind of represented that. There's.
Are you going to remove them from your garden, Lisa?
I haven't got any actually. I was actually going to get them this summer.
So this article basically pointed out, I think, maybe 10 things that are supposed to symbolise the fact that you are open or you're open to being in an open relationship or swinging. Pampas grass was one. The upside down pineapple, and you mentioned, Bock, when we were talking earlier on about certain jewellery and stuff.
Well, you've got the black ring, haven't you?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I've heard all this stuff. Never once, like, met someone because of it or, like, it opened the door. That said, my buddy Calvin, the pineapple is supposedly very popular on the gay scene. And he has joked around.
Is it in the front or the back garden? Oh, that's
no. Just even... Oh, no. The pineapple is when you're shopping. If the pineapple is upside down in your basket while you're shopping.
It's in your garden. Sorry. Sorry, I thought... You made me stop. Sorry about that. So the pineapple's not in your garden, it's in your basket.
Yes, while shopping.
Oh, shopping, okay.
And the only reason...
Is this a gold... Because what I saw in the Sun newspaper was a gold...
your hand.
With a
You're
gold...
making it all worse.
Oh, is it a real pineapple?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a real pineapple. Because I saw... Well, I was like, stop laughing.
I think there is something else. I've heard this before of like a pineapple decal on the door. Or,
in the back garden.
Can't put it in the back garden. No one to know.
I know.
I'm sorry. Oh, that tickled me. You know why I know about the pineapple thing is because there's this, again, TikTok, I really need to get a life. There's this cruise that's going on, this 9-month cruise around the world, and it's become like a massive subject on TikTok because there's lots of arguments going on this cruise and people are literally sailing for 9 months, right? And it is wild. But they're now going down and taking pictures of people's doors that have got pineapples on them and saying,
really? Okay.
This person is these guys are clearly swingers. And that's why I knew the pineapple thing.
So say if one wanted to be in an open relationship and to find other people, or if they wanted, a couple were wanting to experiment swinging, how would you go about doing that?
Asking for a friend, Lisa.
Why do I always seem to ask the questions and you just like, make them sound like...
So I would say the best I would say is get involved in the scene, and there are mixers and stuff for, hey, what is polyamory, blah 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 blah. My friend Sinead actually runs the Fox Den, and she does workshops and talks and...
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Like, I'll tell her about
like a
you guys.
Introduction,
and,
okay.
Yeah, we should.
I think she would love to come on because she runs a lot of workshops around everything.
We'd love to have her on.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
She's an amazing woman, yeah.
So really did you have a quick question on this?
No,
I was just I really wanted to talk about the Reddit, because you're a very successful artist as well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
And give us all of your where can we find you and the work that you do online?
Yeah, because it's a semi-famous trend.
And Lisa's really good on social media, so she'll be the technical one.
Well,
I did actually look, and I think you got 2 different Instagrams. One,
so
one portraits, and
Yep.
I'll let you explain.
Okay, yeah. So one is G Bockus, which is just Reddit gets drawn. It's just a lovely community. People on Reddit post photos they've taken of themselves or their partners and whatever, or even their pets, and they just post it, and you paint them, and then the community gives you feedback and votes. And I think I've been Artist of the Week something like 13 times.
Oh wow,
that doesn't surprise me. If you look on,
no,
on
it's
Instagram,
amazing.
It's amazing. But you've got the 2.
I just want to say, whilst we're here and we've got this like documented, Bock's gonna draw me and Lisa, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, I can't wait to see
You heard that here first. Doc, you can't get out.
Yeah.
It's legally binding.
Yeah. No.
More than portrait one, because I was going to go on. So you've got another Instagram that's more pornographic, so to speak.
Yeah. So then
Erotic?
I think it's probably a better word.
Erotic
Yeah.
art. So then there is another subcategory in Reddit called Draw Me Not Safe for Work. And it is people posing, tasteful nudes and eroticism.
I mean, they're gorgeous. I'm thinking another stone off, and maybe I'll say,
You can do it.
paint me like one of your French girls, Jack.
With a little palm leaf there.
Yeah, and then a couple of those also, there was through one of the clubs, Club Verboten, when they shut down for COVID and no one could see each other, they were doing Zoom parties and things like that.
Oh, I
and
bet they were wild.
They did a Secret Santa, and a couple of the paintings were for a couple that I painted for Secret Santa gifts.
Oh, amazing.
And so there was some really fun stuff that went around that.
Before we let you go, I need to know what happens in a Zoom sex party.
Honestly, they're not great. I mean,
that was an anticlimax for you. Sorry about that, Mel.
they're lovely. I mean, there is an original, basically like all Zoom parties ever. When they first started off, everyone was like, "Oh, this is awesome! Something to do. Saturday, we're getting drunk with 18 cameras on my screen."
Yeah.
And it very quickly goes away.
It's true, because it's all like, we were all like, oh, let's do a Zoom and a quiz. Now I'm like, oh, drop me out with your quiz.
Yeah, looking back, we used to all do like a little quiz or like an evening with, and you get with your friends on it. And there was a few other little things that everyone used to do.
Knitting and baking.
Yeah.
I did
Put it
neither.
this way. Have you ever had like phone sex with a partner when you're first super in love and
I
they
can
were
neither
away?
confirm nor deny that.
But it's like that. You do it once and like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I think, Bock, thank you so much. We could have sat here for hours talking to you, so there might be another episode in there. So watch
Happy
this.
to come back.
Thank you so much. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, no, this was great. Thank you.
I think, actually, Bock, let's keep you around for our Love Line. Now, Love Line is when our listeners will anonymously send us
Always.
a dilemma or something that they're going through in their relationship. And Lisa and I will... well, we're not very good at advice, but we'll talk about it and see if we give you some other perspectives. So let's keep you with us, Bock, because you might have some good insight here. Lisa, do you want to take this one? Or?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on.
Do you know what I'm going to do?
Put your glasses on.
I thought they actually match the outfit.
They really
I
do.
do kind of blend in here a little bit, don't they?
I like it.
But,
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I've not worn my glasses, so I thought I might.
You should do
Okay,
that.
so our love line is, hi girls. So my partner has always been a workaholic and I've always admired his dedication. Lately though, his job has gone into overdrive, long hours, crazy stress, you name it. It's like our relationship got tossed on the back burner. That happens quite a lot in relationships.
Happens a lot.
We hear about it. So, I mean, she gets the whole career thing, but she misses the good times we used to have. When we do spend time together, it feels like he's mentally still at the office. It's quite hard, I think, for some people to switch off.
Yeah,
isn't
it is
So-
if you've got other things going on, absolutely.
yeah. So she's feeling a bit neglected, clueless about how to bring it up without adding to his stress. That's the thing. It's about choosing that moment.
Timing,
the right
isn't it?
timing, isn't it?
Timing.
Yeah. So she said she's tried talking about it, but it's tough to have a real conversation when work is all he's thinking about. I'm worried if this keeps up, it's going to mess with our marriage. I love the guy and I want us to be solid even with his crazy work life. Well, she's she's seeking help here. She wants to try and
which
make a
is
change,
the
which
first
is
step.
it's good. Any thoughts on how to handle this? How can I support his career without feeling like I'm on the sidelines? I want to back him up while still feeling like we're a team.
Do you know what? I want to
Thank you
hand
for
over
your-
to Bock first with this. What would you say, Bock?
I would say one conversation first is figure out what their love languages are. Because in his mind, if his love language is act of service, and in his mind, he's doing all this for them,
Yeah.
you know, in his head, he could be like,
I'm doing the
I'm
right thing.
doing all the
This
things.
is really good, getting a man's perspective
This
on
is
it.
a really,
actually.
absolutely.
Because that's the thing, I
Whereas
suppose.
what she wants from the sound of that is her love
Attention.
language is
Yeah.
quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she wants that, you know, present quality time. And, you know, so she's really got to talk to him and realize that's probably might not be his love language or not how he gets it. But yeah, in his head, he might think, oh no, the relationship is just perfect.
I'm providing for everyone.
I'm
This is what
providing,
we're
I'm doing
doing,
everything,
yeah.
I'm killing it so we
But
can
then
have
I
a better
think to
life
have
later
that
on.
conversation, because sometimes you can get stuck into that routine of just going to work, just providing that, and then you lose the magic of why you first fell in love, why you first met.
and that
So it's kind of
connection, and
reconnecting that,
you
isn't
do
it?
need some of that,
And,
yeah.
and
so
that's
sure.
the key. I think what she's asking is, how does she get that back?
I think what we said, timing is the key for that, because
Yeah.
it happens quite a lot. If I'm working and Ashley will come in and try and have a conversation with me, and I'll go, oh, can you just, because what he doesn't realise is every time he speaks to me, I lose my train of thought.
Oh,
and
you get out of the flow, and then you gotta
I'm out, I
reset.
don't know where I was, and then
Yeah.
I can't concentrate on what he's saying or the email that I was writing. And then
So
he
this
gets frustrated with me. So I think it's having that moment of maybe when you're sitting down to dinner
I was going to say, it's the timing, isn't it? To sit
Timing.
there and have that.
and carving out some quality. So, you know, if you're going to be working like this, that's great. But let's try and book a holiday. Let's do a weekend away where we just go, you know what? No emails, no phones, no laptops.
And then catch up to
And
where
then
we're at.
just catch
So
up.
again, sorry to keep going on about this, but I think this is, I'm quite liking it, the 5-minute coffee hack. No, but the
Good
thing
luck
is,
to Lisa's other half.
It's going to be drinking a lot of
but no,
coffee.
Tomorrow morning, 5-minute coffee breaks coming your way.
but I mean, it could be a 5-minute, well, not a 5-hour wine break. That's more kind of,
Your speed, yeah.
But yeah, just kind of introducing, saying, look, we've got things to maybe chat about. Should we kind of introduce? I'm just going to shut up. Actually.
I think
But I don't know. I think that could work
timing's
just
key.
for him to have that break.
And you will get a different reaction out of someone depending on when you approach certain subjects.
Yeah.
That's something
Oh,
I've learned over
At
the
different
years.
times of the day.
Yeah.
If
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
someone that if I'm
Yeah.
thinking it, I have to get it out. But I've learned that sometimes my
I've got the flyback.
it's on your case list. I think sometimes even in my, excitement to get something out or say something, actually all I'm going to do is cause an argument. So
Yeah.
you have to pick your timings and pick your battles.
See, the thing is, say like you're in a relationship and then one of you is really tired, one's not tired, and they're really excited about something, but you're talking to the other one and they're not giving that enthusiasm, then you're feeling rejected, perhaps. So again, it's all about timing. So I think the advice would be to try and choose the best time when he's feeling more relaxed. Maybe if it's a Sunday morning, it's a weekend, and suggest maybe a walk or
And I
something,
think-
or a spa day or something.
What you said about maybe his love language is an act of service, maybe switch that and you be the act of service for a moment. So maybe, you know what? I know you've had a tough week. Why don't you stay in bed? Let me make some breakfast and just chill for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And flip that.
There's
act of
definitely
service.
something to that of
Ashley, you've got
getting-
breakfast in bed soon.
getting
Didn't say that out loud.
getting people to look at something through a different frame. If it does sound like she's probably tried to talk to him before.
Yeah.
for sure.
It's not getting through. So
She wouldn't be at this stage asking if
Yeah,
you
Exactly.
yeah.
So approaching it from a different angle, like trying something new, and especially like it's one of those things I love. Like only like oh god, how do I say? Only really heard about like love languages a couple years ago, but oh my god, my friend like said it, and then he pointed out some examples.
So
of some
true.
of
So
our
if
friends.
this
I was just
lady's
like,
listening, obviously she will be, well, we hope. If she doesn't really understand what love languages are, How would you describe that, and how could she find out more about the love languages?
Oh, so just a quick Google search will bring them up. I'm trying to remember them all. It's words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time.
Yeah.
There's one more I thought, wasn't there? And what you like to give and what you like to receive can be different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
people that, like, it can be
completely.
a
About
mix
that.
of all that kind of stuff.
There you go.
But viewing it through that lens can, I think, really help people understand
And
like a bit.
I think this
it's really
ties
interesting.
back very nicely to what we started with, and that is having the same arguments over and over and over again. And that's
Yeah.
because you're not aligning.
Yeah,
And
and you're not. Yeah, you're not
Ashley does it all the time. I'll say to him, "You're not listening to me," and he'll repeat word for word what I've just said, but it hasn't taken any of it in. But he has just picked, because he knows what I'm going to say is, "Are you listening? You're not listening to me." And he goes, "Yeah, I am. You said that I need to put the washing machine on, and if I do it past 30 degrees, then I run the risk." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I know you can repeat what I said, but did you hear me?" And it's that, that thing we're on. We're not
like that
quite aligned.
frustration.
Yeah. Arguing to cross purposes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's been wonderful. I've really enjoyed this session.
really
I love all of
enjoyed
them,
it.
but it's been great to have guests
this
in.
was great
You're
fun.
our first guest
Live in the
live in the
studio,
studio.
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Box, he's raised the bar high. So let's see. Don't forget, guys, please like, subscribe, share it, tell a friend, leave us a review. Unless it's not a good one, then leave that out.
Nothing good to say, don't say anything.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget, check out Bock's Instagrams.
G. Bacchus and Verboten Kunst.
There you go.
And also, make sure if you've got any dilemmas that you want to write in to us, please do. Obviously, they'll always be anonymous.
All
You
anonymous.
can do it at info@outlandish.live or DM either of us on our socials.
Yeah.
Outlandish.
And
We look forward to hearing from you.
That's it for your weekly guilty pleasure this week. We'll see you again in a week's time
for
for
podcast 4.
and more outlandish behaviour.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.